People, Deluded, I'm back again. Now, I was planning to speak about this when I do my live stream later on in relation to Arsenal versus Molde. You know, I'm doing a watch along, cheeky plug of it. Make sure you got your reminders on, and I want to see you all there. By the time this video comes out, I'll probably be in full swings in relation to that, or, you know, it might be hours before. But like I said, make sure you're aware of that. I'm going to put the link to that in the description, cheeky plug. But moving forward, Joe Willock, obviously this is a game, the Joes, the Nelsons, hopefully for me, Balogun start. I'm not going to be naive, I know Balogun ain't going to start, but a guy can hope. Smith Rowe, provide these over his injuries and all of these sort of things there. I want to see, you know, Reece Nelson pick up where he left off in this competition. Even Joe Willock the same. Now, he's someone that's going to do this. Now, we already know Joe Willock faces a tough season, not because he's not trusted by the manager or whatever, it's because he's now 21. Now, Joe Willock's played for a number of periods now, and we're still kind of, not that he's a bad player, because I don't think he is. He's a good player, and I think he's going to be a good squad player for us. If he wants to progress past that, it's down to him. But we don't know what he is really. And, you know, at 19, you need to show you're ready to start and play in the professional game. Like Wenger said, he's done that. He's now 21. 21, you don't have to be the finished article, but you do have to kind of be taken seriously as more of an option in the team, which currently he's not. If Arteta's life's on the line and he has to play in 11, he's not playing Joe Willock. Joe Willock's probably not in the squad, as has been quite frequent this year. I think he believes in him. I believe in him. You know, by 23, you want to kind of see specifically what sort of midfielder Joe Willock is. He's contracted until 2023. Now, the club believe in him. I think he'll sign an improved deal, but, you know, he's got to start showing within the next season, season and a half, 2 seasons or something, or you could very much be rubbed out. He's spoken and he said he thrives off competition and all of these things, which I want to hear. I love the way Joe Willock thinks. I like his attitude. I think he can have a future here. He's got a good engine. He's got a good physique. He's, you know, deceptively, he's down for the tackling and all of these sort of things. For me, he just needs a bit of polishing, just a bit of ironing out, like specific position. What are you? You can specialist first, then you show the adaptability, because you're all over the place right now, and it's not because of your fault. You know, I've seen you play as a false 9 here. You know, you've seen him do the 10 thing, which I don't believe. But can we find what role you're at? Can we get a bit more consistency? Can we get a bit more polishedness when you play that final pass, or when you link up in the final third, or be a bit less sloppy positional wise? Because I think defensively he plays a bit blinkered at times, for as much as I think he put in a shift. Be aware. Just little things, little dribs and drabs. These are not the end of the world now. Not every youngster is going to be Saka and Martinelli and Greenwood and Foden and, you know, these sort of man. Not everyone's going to do that. Some men are going to be squad players. Some men are going to be steady eddies, which, no disrespect to Joe, I think that's it. I think in a fantasy world, what I'm hoping for is that Joe Willock turns into a mad box-to-box midfielder. He gets goals, because I think he's the only thing close to a box-to-box midfielder within this team, excluding Partey, who has just come into the team to a degree, to Herrera, who is on loan. But he's got to think about it. He's got a tough season, you know. He's barely got a sniff in relation to the league. He's got some ability, because he started at City away, started in Liverpool away. I remember the start of last season, he actually played quite well. He has got talent, but he needs to make a claim for himself now. Is he, you know, we need to think about giving this guy a new deal, as I said, to protect our resale value, to keep solidifying that he's a part of the plans and whatnot. But he needs to grab opportunities now. He needs to grab opportunities, because like I said, he's not in the strongest team. There's a lot of midfield options. Guendouzi and Torreira on loan, and their futures here for me are done. But if they're not done, and if there's a revival like how there was under El Nene, then that's bad news for Joe Willock. I think Joe should have went out on loan, where he could have got 20, 30 plus games in on the spin and whatnot, rather than the occasional cup games and whatnot. But is he playing ahead of El Nene? If he earns it, why not? But the way El Nene's playing, El Nene's first name on the team sheet, Xhaka's been dropped and stuff. But we know Xhaka is still part of Arteta's plans. Do I need to spell out why Partey plays ahead of Joe Willock? I don't think I do. So that's about 3 man. Ceballos, again, Ceballos has just come back. These 4, or a combination of these 4, they're all playing ahead of Joe. Joe is 5th choice. Right now we're playing with 2 central midfielders. You know, 2 can probably grab, well, 3 can grab spots on the bench, and Joe can do a couple of roles. But you can see how the numbers aren't perfect, people. So he needs to show something this season. He's 21. You know, he needs to look back next season saying, I've developed. He's spoken previously about wanting to play for England and following Saka and Maitland-Niles. To do that, you need to play regularly. You either need to show Arteta you're ready for that and show the consistency for that, or you go out on loan where you can play, either come back next season, well, if it was to be in January or whatever, and fight the following season for a spot. He's been speaking and he says, I mean, first of all, they are friends to me. This is obviously in relation to his England people getting call-ups. you know, Joe Willock's actually lost his place in the England under-21 side. I think he'll get recalled, but a couple of times he's not been called up, and I know the call-ups are due, you know. I think Josh Da Silva took his place at one point, and, you know, I would have loved, I'm not going to lie, I love Joe Willock, but I would easily swap Josh Da Silva and Joe Willock in a heartbeat at this moment in time. Joe Willock, please make me look stupid, and I'm not doubting Joe Willock, but Josh Da Silva is just something different. Like he said, I grew up with them in the academy as well. For them to go to the first team of England is an amazing achievement. As you said, if they can do it, I can do it as well. So I'm just trying to work hard. That's my aim, really, to play for my country and shine. And, you know, that's what I want to hear from Joe. You want to play for Arsenal, you want to play for England, you want to win trophy, you want to just become a better footballer. I want to see that. I think Joe, I like the, if you was to ask me what I like about Joe, I like his, in a positive way, his confidence. You can see that. And let's not act Joe, unfortunately, at times, you know, away from constructively criticising his performances, he has been scapegoated, he has been attacked. You know, he had a disastrous game against Newcastle away a couple of years ago, and, you know, and people got onto him, and then he actually, Newcastle away, had a good game a few years, well, after that, really, you know. So I like his attitude. He doesn't seem to let the net and let what fans are saying and these things get to him. That's the first thing, because I always talk about confidence. It's all fun and games when the fans love you, when the manager loves you, when, you know, we're winning games, we're in a great run of form. What about when it goes tits up? Can you still have the confidence to try things? When the world is telling you that you're nothing, can you still pull behind? And I think Joe has got that. And I really admire Joe Willock as a person, because he seems a very God-fearing man. Not that, you know, the religious thing is of relevance, but it seems to me that he believes a lot in faith. He prepares in stuff. He leaves his faith to God, and then he prepares, and what shall be, shall be. And he's got a good mentor. And for a 21-year-old in life, that's great, let alone a footballer where, you know, there's a lot said. 1 minute he's the best thing since sliced bread, the other he's overrated, how's he here? So I like his mentality, and that's what you want to see. He wants to do things. And what I liked from Joe as well, he said, I thrive off competition. So when I had a conversation with him, Arteta, that wasn't a conversation that was negative, it was something positive for me. And I think Arteta's told him the realness. Listen, I like you, I think you have a future here, there will be opportunities for you this season, but I'm not going to lie to you, unless you bust a miracle, unless you really show me something, game time is going to be tough for you, significant game time that you might need. And he, you know, you might either call him brave or an idiot, you know. He's got to be, if he believes that I'm an Arsenal player, I can play ahead of El Nene and I'm better than Partey and things, as he should believe. Every man should believe they are in that squad if you want to play. Fair play. But I think he should have went out on loan. To say you fight, you know, you fight, why not? Because you've heard his friend Nelson say that, you know, another one who could have went out on loan, potentially should have. Love to hear this, people. And he also said, in every game I play, I need to ask the question, knock on the door with my performances. I don't really like to speak, I like to show it on the pitch. Best wing, he said, for me as well. I know I keep saying that. And that's, I'm not going to lie, a lot of Arsenal players and a lot of things in connected with Arsenal is a lot of talking. I'd want to see doing. When you're doing, chat off the things. That's what I like with Joe Willock. Like he said, every time he needs to play, not just has to have a good game. He needs to be one of the players that, same way we're speaking about United away, and everybody had a good game. You know, Bearman had a good game. I think Bellerin and Tierney are unfortunate that their names aren't being sung as much, or even Lacazette for the pressing. But you know, when we think of that, we say it's a good team performance, as I just said, people. But what's the first three names that come to your head? It's either all three, or one of them, of a Gabriel, of a Partey, of an El Nene. Everyone probably in Arsenal's coaching staff, Arteta himself, and just about anyone connected with Arsenal on the socials or in general, you can't go far without thinking about that game, without speaking about them three. That's what Joe's got to do in his own little way, and every player. You know, Mikel Arteta was doing that. Whether it was Prem, Europa, other cup games, you couldn't not speak about Mikel Arteta. You couldn't not be involved. That's what you've got to do. That's simply put what you've got to do. And he also spoke about wanting to learn from players. He said, I want to learn from these players that are coming and I can train with every day and compete with. So he wants to play with the parties and that. He also said, I am 21 years of age. I want to compete with these players. I said to him, Arteta, that is what I want to do. And it was very encouraging for him to support me and say, if I play well, I'll get a chance. And that's facts. And I think, you know, it makes me think about Saliba, people, because Nelson and Joe, it seems like Arteta said, listen, you lot will play, I believe in you lot, you know. Both of them have started big games under Arteta. They just haven't played consistently game in, game out. You know, I think you guys should go out on loan because of what I'm trying to achieve this season. I need a bit more experienced players and a bit more consistency, but you'll get their opportunities. If you stay, you know you'll get opportunities if you earn it. And he said, all right, cool. You know, this same thing hasn't been said about Saliba in the sense of, transitional. He's speaking about transitional year. They all need transitional year, really, but he's speaking about, and the situations are not the same, but just in terms of being a young player, given chances, it's transitional year. We're going out on loan. We try to find situations. It's not a thing where, you know, I think there's a lot of centre-halves on the books. Competition is going to be tough for you, but, you know, if you earn a spot, you'll play. So it's an interesting one, what we're doing. I think they all have futures at the club. Disregard Saliba, but I think Nelson and Joe have futures at the club. But I'm not going to lie, you know, the Joes, the Nketiahs, the, you know, Emil Smith Rowe, Nelson, Joe, Nketiah, I think they can all be part of a 25-man squad in the short, medium and long-term futures. But, you know, they've got to seize the moment now. Don't get complacent. I don't think they are, but don't get complacent and think, yo, I'm an Arsenal player now. You know, you're in a unique position. Seize it, because there might, you know, all it takes is one signing to complicate things for you. Seize your future. Saka weren't just here for being a young player. He wants to be a genuine first-team player. So now we're not speaking about Saka with these, man. Because on one hand, you know me, I love youth. You know, I romanticize the Arsenal youth. I really want to, you know, I want to see 25-man squad all from Halen, 11 first-team players. That's the impossible dream I want to achieve. And I think they all can. But when I remove that and I look at it for what it could be, all of you could have futures, but all of you could be sold for profit. Nelson, Emil, Nketiah, Joe, them man there, you know, you can make a decent change for the club. Sell on clause, all them thing there. Would you say these guys are missed? I think in future, because I believe in all of them, I think a lot of them would be missed. But would they? You know? Could you get 15, 20 a pop of these players? That's what these guys need to develop. They need to come into their own. Opportunities will be had, but you've got to care about the collective, obviously. But you've now got to grab your opportunity. You've got to grab it. You know, you've got to be very selfish now. You know, like I said, the collective is the collective, but you've got to think, yo, this is the game I'm gonna bully. Arteta has to use me, whether I'm the midfielder, left wing, or whatever. I am the best option in this team. You know, there's no friends now. You're at the age where it's not a friend thing. You're not 25 signing a 5-year deal, been here for time. It's not a friends thing. You're Arsenal first-team players, but right now, but you could all end up elsewhere, and that's not me being harsh. That's a fact, you know. Not all of these names I said are going to make it at this club. Properly make it. They've all done well. They've made a number of appearances with the club. They're professional footballers, but not all of them are going to, regardless of what I believe about short, medium and long term, about what I just said, you know, not all of them are going to make it. And if any of them watch this, not that they don't, make sure it's not you. If you're Joe Willock, make sure you're the one who makes it. Nelson the same, Emil the same, and Nketiah the same. Because arguably Nketiah's advanced these man, because you might say what you want about Nketiah. He's keeping Lacazette out the team. He's a genuine sort of rotation option right now. You know, them man, they are still squad players. Nketiah can sit here and say I'm a genuine option to play in the Premier League. Some of these man naming are not travelling with the squad. You're playing 23s when them man they are playing. Do you get it? So it is what it is. Arteta himself said, we considered a few options for him, in brackets, to go out on loan, but he's a player I really like. He has some special qualities that only he has in this squad and that we have to use. And I think that one there is gassing it a bit, but that's what I like to see with Arteta. That's good man management. Because if you're Joe and the man tells you, regardless of what I said about you need to earn your spot, but he tells you, and you said you want to fight, but he says to you, you've got qualities that no one else has, you're going to get gassed. You're going to think, yo, special qualities? I'm going to play even better, so you have to include man now. That's a very good one from him. He said, obviously, we need to look at the collective. Like, in the squad, he can help us, but is him being a squad player for us this season, you know, being the 5th man in midfield right now, is that the best thing? Like I said, could he have went somewhere where he could get 20, 30 games? Was there loan offers on the table? Did he reject them? Who knows? You know, I do remember a few years ago, I shouldn't talk too tough, but after speaking to someone, there was a lot of League One and Championship offers for Joe Willock, and he elected to stay under Unai Emery, people, which was backed up because he was playing games. But it is what it is. But you know, he does, you know, a loan spell, because minutes are currency, as I always say. Could it have been beneficial to go somewhere where you're not 5th choice, you might be seen as second, as from 1st to 3rd, and you have a chance of coming back to the Emirates next season and saying, yo, cool, I've played 20, 30 plus top flight games, not 20 appearances, but it's a 10, it's a 5, it's a 60, it's a 13, it's a start here, it's no starts for 5 games, I've got a start there, you know, because this is the prospect facing, Joe. Obviously, I'm speaking about the league. I'm part of the squad, but I'm not part of the squad. You know, I'm playing 23s to stay fit. if that's what man want to do, that's what man want to do. But I think there's a lot of situations we have to revisit in January. I think you will know. We're going to have to go over Saliba. We're going to have to review Smith Rowe. We're going to have to review Joe Willock. Apologies for kicking the screen. You know, there's a lot of things we're going to have to think. And he also said, I think you can see in the last game, he showed what he can do. Play in those pockets and make runs into certain areas. He's got the ability to make the box, his physicality, and he's grown his understanding of the game and areas where he needs to be involved and affect the game. And obviously he's still learning. I must admit, I would have liked to have seen a bit more progress from Joe Willock, and I think there should be a bit more progress. But I do think there's some ability in the lad, man. I do think he can play. He can be a decent player for us, people, and do what he needs to do in that regards, man. But for now, people. Deluded. I'm out. I've got nothing more to say or add at this point.